What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Yeah, guys, bye week is here. Bye week is about gone. Week 7's over, almost over, with 2 games left tomorrow for Monday Night Football. And our Cowboys, we didn't lose this weekend. That's the good news there. Bad news, we didn't win. We didn't play. McCarthy under fire by everybody, but Jerry with swinging the axe, the hammer, and all our players, under the microscope right now. Offense, defense, it doesn't matter. But we'll talk about a couple quick things tonight. It really should be a Cowboy quickie than a Cowboys chat. But since we haven't really had much news on this bye week, we took it easy. And we may even have a special guest. We'll see what happens later tonight. But right now, baby, before we even get rolling, let's quickly do the shout-outs that matter here on the nightly, especially when it comes to those that lead the board and rep this board here. I know tonight's the last night of the week, usually, Sunday, but obviously it's a bye week, so it's a 2-week deal here. Exactly. So we'll have 3 more streams next week to decide a full-time champion for this upcoming week. But right now, we have the representation of this past week.
Mr. John Luna.
Yeah, back to back like our 90s Cowboys. Big shout-out as he's our sponsor of the week and also took over as the membership gifting king. No, is he? No, he wasn't. He's not. He lost that to Chill Pill.
Oh, that's right.
So a big shout out. Yeah,
it was the last.
That was last minute takeover, game day takeover by Chill Pill. Big shout outs to her. And then of course you have the Cash App King, which is represented by Skeptical Fan, the king of the Cash App for this week. I say, these 2 weeks representing their Skeptical Fan.
John Luna took over was the stream boss.
That's what he took over. The stream boss with 64 points. It's been like 4 days. So 64 points for John Luna as he's currently, hanging right there in the middle. With Daniel Berry Sports highlights saying, hey, don't forget, even though I'm a Rams fan, I'm still part of the MCF family. He's a member of the Navy Blue crew for 7 months with his membership comment. Baby, what did he say?
Cowboys-Niners? Gonna be good.
It's gonna be something. Not sure how good it's going to be. It depends how the Cowboys are ready to play. And the Niners are beat up. Yeah, we'll see how this game goes. But definitely I don't think either team is going to be at full blast. But we'll talk a little bit about that. More so, I would say, starting on Tuesday's live stream whenever we go live next time. But tonight we're just going to do a quickie, get the couple days of news caught up, and, of course, the weekend of football on our bye week as we turn the page and continue looking towards the Niner game. Of course, I didn't mention about injuries because there's not really many injury updates. But we know this week will be a lot of practice notes, so we're going to be taking a look at.
Yeah, stay tuned for our next live stream as far as injury updates specifically.
Yes.
But we do have, obviously, Cowboy updates, or else we wouldn't be live tonight.
Yeah, so we will talk about a couple things about the Cowboys and rehash a couple things from this week and also go through what happened in the NFL. But let me just finish here. Skeptical Fan Cash App King, John Luna, 63 points as the stream boss, and, of course, a sponsor of the week back-to-back, John Luna. Chill Pill, who's been repping for 3 straight months on MCF After Dark channels. She is the gifting membership queen. So big shout outs to her. Now, I also got to say, for this particular week, there is currently, we only had 1 stream. This is our 2nd stream. And there currently is no Cash App leader. So that's empty. There is a gifting leader, and that is John Luna. He's dropped 10 this week, so he's trying to take that back from Chill Pill. We'll see what happens. And John Luna is also currently in first place. Not by much, but he's in first place over Marco Seppian. Try to get that sponsor of the week, not for 1, not for 2, but a 3-peat. We'll see if he's able to accomplish that. We'll see who takes over the stream boss. We'll see who adds to it, like Luna, or see who takes maybe the lead in the Cash App. Either way, tonight it's gonna be a quickie. So get your info, your thoughts, your comments in the chat, and any drops of love from above you want to help out the channel with. There's different ways of doing that. Super chats. That's where we get to see your comments and kind of expand on that. And we comment on your thoughts or comment or question. When you do that and you drop any love or any donations in the super chat, of course, there's the thanks button, which is more for post streams or videos that we uploaded. You also have the membership side of things. We got the Navy Blue crew, the Silver Level 2, of course, the top shelf memberships of Star and Over Everything level memberships. And speaking of, I do have to shout out a couple people the last couple of days. Like Dwayne Broussard, the top dog, Walter Williams, Chill Pill in the Over Everything level. That's why she's in 3rd place on the overall board. Roy Strasner in the Navy Blue crew, Alpha Male Pimp. Much love to you too. All these, Walter Williams in the Navy Blue. Thank you guys. Oh yeah, and Dwayne Broussard's in the silver too. So big shout outs to everybody on all the levels. that are back in the membership or joined in the membership. And then we also have gifting memberships. We can only do that when you're a member, when you're part of the membership, any of the 4 levels. So big shout outs to anybody who helps out on those sides of things. On the YouTube side, there's the After Dark version of things. We don't have the the YouTube help on the After Dark channels. So we use these other ways that you guys can help here as well, which there's 4 different ways to help out the channel outside of YouTube.
You have, of course, the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, that Streamlabs link. It lets your comments show up on screen like a super chat would.
Yep, and that's pretty much the way that breaks down. And then I do want to shout out one last thing: the Star and Over Everything level membership monthly jersey raffle. We just had John Luna win the last one, and not only do the Star level and Over Everything level get raffle entries, a star gets 1. Every star member gets 1 entry. Every Over Everything level member gets 2 entries automatically for the monthly jersey raffles, but also the weekly winners. So John Luna, in the star level, he also has won the last 2 weeks. That means he gets 2 bonus raffle entries. He's got the inside track there. But Chill Pills in the Over Everything, she's get 2 automatically just for being in the Over Everything. So again, we'll see who wins the October monthly raffle, sometime in November, early November. But baby, we gotta do the shout-outs. And I know we skipped Fan Friday, so we should probably do the shout-outs for those that are repping it in the in all top 3 levels, silver level included. So let's go ahead and do that. When it comes to the nightly shout-outs here, we do always do the Over Everything and the star level, but every Friday, which today is Sunday, we didn't do a Friday show, so we'll do the the silver level members as well today. So maybe without further ado, why don't we do the shout-outs?
Of course, a huge shout-out to Calvin Richards, Justin Quarles, the Q-Man. We have Mr. A. Lavelle, of course, the top dog, Dwayne Broussard.
Yeah.
Shut him out just a few minutes ago. Thank you to John Luna, Mr. Jetly44, Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical, LC, and Over Everything, Chill Pill.
Yeah. Much love on all those levels, and big shout outs to Double R.
Woo! Thank
Dropping
you so much,
a little
Double
love
R.
in here. I see him on the After Dark. He's in the Cowboy side.
Yeah,
he's on all
sides.
Sides.
Officially here to start the stream off with the $2 holler, saying salute MCF and Cowboy Nation. Go Cowboys!
Always go Cowboys. Big shout outs to you, Double R. Thank you. And yes, go Cowboys. Let's do them shout outs, baby. As we got everything kind of done so far, I'll add Mr. Double R to the leaderboard, and let's get a roll on here for tonight's show. Hell
with
yeah.
Double R. Shout out to you, of course. Matt Batten, much love.
Yeah.
Even you, Philly. We have a Tard Hunter. Howdy to you. Manuel Trillo, much
sounds like
love.
An After Dark friend, possibly.
I know. Brandon J, shout out to you. Yeah, the Giants do suck. Juan Carlos representing, much love. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, what's up? James Herr, hey, I would still take Dak over Josh Allen. So we have Chris Plumage representing. Yeah, hopefully this bye week produces some change, but you definitely feel some change from the Cowboy fandom, I feel like, recently. AOD, yeah, definitely missing Dan Quinn at this moment, you could say. Let me see who else is here. Rolling back a big true Cowboy, always go Cowboys.
Hell yeah.
Little Dallas Cowboys, shout out to you. Devontae Alvarez, much love. Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical.
Always.
Yeah, that's not an unrealistic score prediction. I really hope our Cowboys prove that wrong. But let's be real. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So, anyway, baby, let me go ahead, hand things off to you so we can start discussing the things that we need to touch on during this bye week and beyond.
Well, since it is a bye week, we don't have much, again, we haven't gone live in 4 days, but we don't have much, obviously, on the Cowboys and updates. So let's talk about today in football first, the day in football. And just in case you guys didn't know, of course, Thursday night game, there was the, I forgot who played that game, but it's not even that important anymore because the Cowboys got to take care of their own before we worry about who else is doing what out there. But today in London, early today, Jacksonville beat the New England Patriots 32-16. The Bills beat the Tennessee Titans at home 34-10. The Colts, a Tua-less Dolphin team, beat them 16-10. The Detroit Lions, again, who whipped our ass last week, they barely got by. Luckily got by. They came back at the end against the Vikings. They won 31-29. The Bengals beat the Browns 21-14. Deshaun Watson ruptured his Achilles. Horrible injury there. And their fans were cheering that. The Cleveland Brown fans were cheering Deshaun Watson's injury. It's crazy. Then you have the
crazy times we're living in.
Houston Texans lost a last second to a last second field goal by the Green Bay Packers, who stayed at the top there with the Lions and the Vikings at the division there in the NFC North. And then the Seahawks did beat the Falcons in Atlanta 34-14. That is our next opponent, the Falcons, in Atlanta after the Niners. While the late games, the Raiders took an L to the Rams, 20-15. Rams won that game. And those are just the quickie ones. I wanted to concentrate on a couple other ones from the NFC East. The Eagles and the Giants. Eagles at the Giants with Saquon Barkley getting a little revenge. Big runs from him. Big game for him. The Eagles won pretty easily, 28-3. We struggled 20-15 against those Giants in New York.
Yeah.
And the Panthers, who suck ass. We know it. My goodness, they got blown out from the start against the Washington Commanders with Dan Quinn. Like you were just saying, Dan Quinn. I mean, obviously he's done a lot of he's asking for guys over there, and he's getting what he wants, and he's doing the best. That's the thing. It's more than the player. It's when you listen to your coach, and if they're a good coach, they'll get the right guys in there if you let them get the right guys and you let them have a little more freedom. We don't have that in Dallas, but the Washington Commanders said, "Hey, Dan Quinn, you want Dante Fowler? We're gonna get Dante Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong. You want the guy you wanted for 3 years in Dallas, and Bobby Wagner? Well, yeah, we'll get him for you too."
Here you go.
So again, that's
Look,
Commanders.
Mike McCarthy is sending that "you up" text to Dan Quinn.
I'll tell you one thing. We do know for sure that the Commanders, again, they whipped up on a very shitty Carolina Panther team. I mean, their quarterback Jaylen Daniels had like 12 snaps today. That's how little he had to. 12 snaps, not passes, snaps. He played a drive. I mean, it was a preseason game for him.
On another level.
Yeah, and that's a rookie with a team that's basically a rookie team with a first year head coach, not a rookie head coach, but all these new guys, and they already are at the top of the NFC East at 5-2 in first place. So it is what it is. The Eagles are 4-3 right now, 4-2. So again, we are falling behind here at 3-3. The Giants, they're at the bottom of the barrel. So I did want to make a couple mentions about the NFC East. So talk about their games today, and the Commanders. I said they won. They won 40-7. It was a blowout in the first quarter. It was a blowout. So they're handling business the way they should. Now the Eagles, before the game, placed their very good left tackle, their blindside blocker, left tackle for Jalen. What's his name? I can't believe I forgot his name. Jalen Hurts. Left tackle Jordan Mailata was put on injured reserve, guys. He's going to be out for at least 4 games. That's a big loss there for the Eagles as far as offensive line. But obviously they didn't lose, too much today. They didn't lose too much today when it came to the Giant game. But they're trying to hold it together in the left tackle spot. Another left tackle in NFC East on the other side of the ball for the Giants. Before this game, their star left tackle, Andrew Thomas. We talked about him possibly having an issue, needing surgery. One of the best left tackles right now, I guess you could say, although Micah dominated him. Had successful surgery a couple days ago to repair a Lisfranc fracture.
Oh, no.
In his foot. We know that means he's out for the year. Jordan Lewis had it, and he was out for almost 2 years. So he is out for the season. We'll see how long he'll be out for. That's the Giants and Eagles losing both of their starting left tackles. We barely have one right now on the team. The last thing I wanted to say, and that is about, I know I should probably talk about this maybe at the end of the stream, but no, fuck that. I'm going to talk about it now. It's about our upcoming opponent. Because you guys, if you're in the membership, you will see all of the new and fresh Niner fuck you emojis.
That's
right. It says fuck you Niner emojis. So check them out. Drop them if you got them. If you're in the membership at any level, you can drop those emojis. We'll be using them all week this week. And just to show you, this is not even to make fun of the injury stuff with them. But yeah, they're banged up and injured. Let me explain. Today they lost. The Niners lost at home against the Chiefs, 28-18. After the game, head coach Kyle Shanahan told reporters that they're worried about wide receiver, their number 2 guy, Brandon Ayuk. They think that he tore something in his knee. No. And in the post-game press conference, Coach Kyle Shanahan for the Niners said, quote, Brandon Ayuk had a knee issue. We're worried it's an ACL. Not confirmed yet, but we'll find out for sure tomorrow. So as we enter this week, Cowboys and Niners. Already after this game, they took an L to the Chiefs. Brandon Ayuk is in bad shape.
Even if, let's just say best case scenario, let's say it's not an ACL. Either way, it's not like he's going to come back next week.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's probably gone for the year. But even if he's gone, even if it's a sprain, he's out for the game for the Cowboys. He ain't playing this one. We know it for sure. And then also remember, Christian McCaffrey's out. You got a ton load of other guys that are banged up and bruised. Brock Purdy had a horrible game. He threw at least 2 interceptions in the first half. So, I know it's the Chiefs and they're 10 times better than us, but they're showing weaknesses with the Niners with a banged-up team. We have a banged-up team. We also have shown weaknesses, healthy or banged up, to be honest. But anyways, the point is, they are not going to have Brandon Ayuk. And, Deebo Samuel's always banged up. And, McCaffrey's out. And, Trent Williams banged up. I'm sure he'll play. But I'm saying they got a lot of guys banged up. So when you look at the odds for this game, again, we're a week away from this big game against, Cowboys and at the Niners. It's at San Francisco. The early odds a couple days ago came out for this through FDS Sportsbook. And the Cowboys were started off last week. Now, it isn't really open till today. But last week they already had some early lines. And they had the Cowboys, like on Thursday and Friday. The Cowboys were 7-point underdogs against the Niners. So today, when they actually opened the line across the betting side of the things, Cowboys have opened as a 5.5-point underdog. So we basically gained a 1.5 between, let's say, Friday and this weekend. Maybe the Brandon Ayuk thing dropped them a little lower. I don't know. But either way, Cowboys starting off here as an official 5.5-point underdogs at San Francisco. That is via FanDuel Sportsbook, FD Sportsbook. So, again, just so you guys know, that's what we're looking at here entering this week. Now, last couple of things NFL news-wise. Remember that holdout with Hassan Ridge?
Yeah.
The former Eagle guy that was traded to the Jets, and he just literally got fired by his own agents. They left. Well, holdout over. The Jets and Hassan Ridge, pass rusher, they reached an agreement.
Oh, wow.
Is
that all it took?
Well, on an adjusted contract. Reddick, he's getting fined millions of dollars for missing training camp and days of games and stuff. So basically, Reddick will be reporting to the New York Jets on Monday morning. He, of course, didn't play this game tonight. But he said we will, basically what's being said by his agent now is Drew Rosenhaus, which is one of the top agents. Mm-hmm. He went from getting fired by his agents to going to Drew Rosenhaus and getting a deal like in less than a week. So basically what they're saying is that they'll continue to work towards a long-term extension with the Jets. So he's worked out basically a 1-year deal, probably going to not, somehow pay him enough so he can cover all the fines that he has to pay. And then, they'll try to find an extension with him sometime this year is what they're trying to say. So the comp update, the Jets have agreed to they're going to waive over $12 million in fines. Remember, the training camp stuff they can't do, but some of these other team fines they can do.
Okay.
They can waive. So they're waiving over $12 million in fines in return for Hassan Ridge honoring his contract for the remainder of the season. And so, this is basically him. They're saying, look, we're gonna slice off about 12 out of the $13 million you owe. And you're going to come back and play on a prorated, contract that's left of your season, which is still, he feels underpaid for, but he's going to have to play on that now as they work towards a new contract. And that's the situation there with Hassan Ridge. Things changed quick there for him with the new, with the new agents there. And again, veteran, solid, obviously well-known, most famous agents. And one of them being Drew Rosenhaus.
Dying to know what it is that caused things to get to this point in particular, because it sounds like it wasn't just Hassan Ridge, based on the fact that the second he got new management, a deal got done pretty quickly.
Management, I don't know.
Just throw that out there.
Yeah, so we'll find out one day, I'm sure. Now another update when it comes to injuries and guys moving around. First off, the Titans. They are honoring the request of former Pro Bowl safety Jamal Adams, who's a guy who we always talked about here. Come to Dallas. And he wanted to get released. He said, I'm done with Tennessee. I need to get it. I don't know, whatever it is. So he asked for a release. They gave him his release. So he's healthy. He's looking forward to his next opportunity. Again, guys, to play safety somewhere. And I don't think it'll be Dallas, but I think he's worn out. And as far as his ability, he's washed in a way. But we got Malik Hooker here. We got Donovan Wilson. Some people aren't very high on them either. So you never know what happens with someone like Jamal Adams floating around out there, a cheap deal. Who knows? And then you have, I'm not a big fan of that. And then you have an injury situation with the Saints wide receiver Rashid Shaheed. He burned us bad, number 22. But he headed to LA where he's undergoing surgery for his meniscus. kind of issue, and there is a chance he will be moved to IR. This was a couple days ago, according to the head coach Dennis Allen. And Taysom Hill was doubtful; he didn't play today. I'm sorry, they didn't play Thursday. The Saints played on Thursday. So the doctors wound up repairing the meniscus in Rashid Shaheed's knee, and now he faces a 4 to 6 month recovery. So he was placed on IR, and his season is officially over. What a big loss for the Saints there.
It's like the fourth knee issue you've talked about today. The year of the knees, I guess.
And no Derek Carr for them, and a lot of guys missing. They lost on I forgot who they played. I don't know why I'm going brain dead here, but they did take an L to
the Raiders?
No, this was on Thursday night. So, but anyways,
the Saints? No.
The Saints played Thursday. I forgot who they played though. I'm sorry. Somebody in the chat just probably know it. Let me see.
I have to be honest. I'm blanking out on it right this second too. So
yeah. So
at least we're both blanking out on it together, baby.
Chicago? I don't know. Anyways, the point is, that's the NFL news. Now we know Jerry Jones has some issues. You can see it on the thumbnail. You can see it in the thumbnail. He's
the Broncos. There we go. Thank you so much, guys. Thank
Broncos,
you, Mr. Kima, Devontae Alvarez.
Bo Nix getting that first, that win over there was 4-3 over there at Denver. I did want to thank you for that, by the way. But Jerry Jones, guys. Jerry Jones. Last we left you here. Oh, not there. Last we left you here was with the clown show situation of these two here, but mainly it was Jerry Jones. You know why? Because this guy, he spoke about, he spoke to 105.3 The Fan and got those questions. We discussed this already, and he couldn't take some of the, implications, the questions, the hard questions. And so he threatened the radio host to fire him. So, of course, we read his double down kind of statement. Kind of a quick statement he had out. And then the other day, yesterday, he actually had a more in-depth interview with USA Today about his doubling down. Well, I guess you could say he triples down. Because he kind of just basically said the same thing. He just added a little more context to it. And again, Jerry Jones, he's not going to win this fight against the media. He should know better than this. But again, he's threatened these radio hosts, at least the guy asking questions. And what did he say about this in comparison? Because again, he was standing outside, waiting for his SUV for these owner meetings at the end of this past week, and he was caught there by the media. And then they asked him, did you really try to threaten these hosts for their jobs because they asked you a tough question? And what did he respond to that, baby?
He's like, I don't know, but I'll tell you what. Hanson and Brad.
Which is Dale Hanson and Brad Sham from the old days in the 90s.
They had to take a leave when they went too far one way or another.
Now, Hanson and Sham, guys, so you guys know, these guys are both, if you know the Cowboys in the 90s, these are media legends in the sense of in Dallas, yeah. And they're media legends. They know, they've been in the Dallas market for years or decades. And they formed the Cowboys' popular radio show team of guys, both these guys, for many, many years. Except for a short time during the 90s. Basically they were demoted or suspended.
Yeah, basically got shut down.
When Jerry Jones became pissed off because they criticized the way this team was running or the way they were playing or whatever. And remember, Jerry Jones said multiple times, the buck stops with me, stops with the team owner, the GM, me, Jerry Jones. And again, he said, basically, it doesn't just stop with the team and making a decision. He goes, it goes farther than that. He has more of a reach. He even admits this.
Yeah, he said, but they're my own folks. That's like Brad and Dale putting it on us during a ball game.
So again, they talk about Brad and Dale from when he suspended them. Now he's looking at these guys like Shan Sheriff, RJ Choppy, and Bobby Belt. Is he going to suspend them because they were asking tough questions? They were his own people, so they got to be yes men. He's admitting that he wants only yes men on his team. That's why Jason Garrett was a coach for fucking 10 years. So again, when you look at the way that he feels they set this up, he called them the tribunal. These three guys, they were gonna try to attack him. What did he say about this new wave of he feels an attack against him by these guys on 105.3 The Fan?
Said, quote, I don't want to demean or undermine their credibility, but we were kind of set up for taking me to the woodshed, and I wasn't ready for that. I was going to talk about the very things they wanted to talk about, but I didn't want it before a tribunal. They are not the ones, as in the hosts of the show, the three men you just mentioned. Now the guys that are listening, my ticket holders and fans, they are the ones.
Now, the thing I say to that is, don't these guys, we've been bitching about the media for years. not asking the tough questions.
Yeah.
We are the fans that are asking the tough. We're the ones that want the tough. He's talking about us, right? So we are happy when one of the media people, whoever they are, if they've been bad, if they've been shitty in the past or not. My point is that they finally ask a real relevant question. Yeah. Jerry Jones shuns them and threatens them.
Isn't the whole point of the media to get the answers that the fans are looking for? So
exactly. That's
again, you might want to ask the questions that the fans are wondering if you want the answers the fans are looking for.
And that's what RJ, Choppy, and Bell, that's what they all did, Shan. They actually, asked the questions that are bothering the fan base. So basically, they're a conduit to the fans. And now Jerry can't. He's speaking to the fans through these guys. Is what to make it easier for you guys understanding.
Yeah.
Here.
So now Jerry seems to disagree with that.
Really? Well, that's okay. What did he say?
He said, they're
not really.
Not really. The host, they just set the tone. I have fans all the time that I communicate with. They have more of a right, really, than the guys that, frankly, I'm paying to put a show on. You and I both know what I might get criticized for when I say that. And then, of course, criticized for what?
Well, yeah,
trying to stop these guys from...
free speech.
Speaking freely, right? He said, well, that's never been us. Free as a breeze here.
Uh-huh.
Guys,
we know that's a lie.
Yeah, how many times have we seen really quality media people, end up
Jane Slater,
leaving the official Dallas Cowboys media?
Yeah. That's
I'm just saying because they want to, have the freedom to say certain things, and or yes, the people who are still associated with the Cowboys media having to be very careful about the things that they say or seeing the kind of pushback. Yeah, Jane Slater, I know
she was punished.
Yep,
she was actually.
She's talked about that before.
Yeah, I mean, she's admitted the fact that Jerry Jones has taken away some special credentials or some special, reports that he
denied her certain accesses that she's had before with the team or certain players.
So this motherfucker will control you. He's a billionaire, rich guy, entitled. Jerry Jones, who just thinks that his shit don't smell and everything he says or does got to be followed and got to be right. And that's where I think he's, that's monstrous to be that way. That's threatening a radio host that shows weakness in Jerry Jones. But we knew he's weak.
And again, obviously, he went on to say a few more things, saying, I go with the flow when it comes to the media. I've seen a lot of general managers come and go. But for our situation, I'm the best one to ultimately make the call. I'm the one that's paying the bills.
And that is why the owner should never be the GM.
Well, that's why the shit rolls uphill in this case.
Exactly. This is a situation where the GM is the owner. How many 82 now year-old GMs are there? There's a lot of 82-year-old owners, but not a lot of 80. There's no 80 or 70-year-old GMs out there.
He keeps thinking that that's like some kind of like humble, like a flex. Like, I've seen a lot of GMs come and go. That's not the flex that you think it is, Jerry. That's because you've overstayed your welcome.
No, it's because not just over. He's seen GMs come and go because he's not fired because he's the owner and he's also the GM. He's not. No accountability is the big issue. No accountability. We've talked about this the other day. We're talking about it again, and we got to unfortunately say this. This is exactly why if the buck stops with him, and he's the one paying the bills, is exactly why he should be first and last in line when it comes to accountability. Jerry Jones has never been accountable for the Dallas Cowboys. And I've been seeing this before. I've been seeing it from Tex Schramm. I've been seeing it before Jerry Jones owned this team. I've seen it. I'm saying I've seen this team for years and a decade before Jerry Jones took over. And I'm telling you what I've seen the last 35 years. And other than the first five with Jimmy Johnson as a GM, guess what? It's been a disaster with Jerry. A disaster, the worst GM in the NFL.
Jerry wouldn't know accountability if it was on the other side of the glory hole.
Yeah. I'm telling you. And then to add to that accountability, not that it's a surprise, we knew this already, but he also doubled down, at the owners' meeting. We discussed this on Tuesday, that in Atlanta, that he said that he has no plans to fire head coach Mike McCarthy or fire any of the coaches, staff, or coordinators. He also added that Dallas will not be making any roster moves in regards to the NFL trade deadline in November, which is November 5th. I think it's election day. So, he's a pissed-off owner at the moment, but he's a pissed-off owner. But he's not firing Jerry the GM. Yeah. And that's, again, the biggest issue with this team. And it's been not this year, not last year, since he and Jimmy Johnson got in a fight and the ego of Jerry Jones, took over. Now, I do want to say, Stephen A. Smith, he loves it. He's friends with Jerry Jones. He said, quote, "It's so bad in Dallas, and it's hard for me to laugh." And you know how much I love laughing about those Cowboys. Even Stephen A. Smith feels bad for the Cowboys, how low we are right now. A lot of people say that Al Davis from the Raiders in 2004 basically was saying this worked in the 70s. Don't tell me how to run a franchise, before he passed away. Jerry Jones in 2024 is basically saying this worked in the 90s. Don't tell me how to run a franchise.
Ouch.
Like, this is, we got the new Al Davis is Jerry Jones, just in case. So those that know. Oh, Jerry Jones, what has he done so far this year? Let's look at what Jerry Jones, we can talk about Dak and Micah and the coaching, but what has Jerry Jones done this year? He kept McCarthy. You can get mad at McCarthy, but who kept him in place?
Yeah,
to make him look good, to make himself look good. It's for Jerry Jones to look good. That's why McCarthy's there. The lawsuit with the paternity stuff, the sexual harassment stuff.
He got that.
A lot of stuff
settled,
going on. Yeah, but he also had sexual harassment stuff going on.
True.
Excuse me. Lack of aggressiveness this offseason, especially with free agency, despite all the team needs we had.
Yep.
Dragged his feet on 2 major contracts, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. Dragged his fucking feet, and we ended up losing. We ended up paying more for these guys.
And by the way, has proceeded to throw both of those contracts and the gentleman under the bus for the reasons why we can't do certain things, or we, as far as specifically now for this year, this season, just saying.
They've never. You got to remember though, Dak Prescott, and CeeDee Lamb. I mean, we could have saved $7 million, $8 million probably if we had got these deals done 4 months ago, and it could have been done. Jerry Jones was just. Did not want to be criticized for. He'd rather be criticized now for not being able to use that money because we're kind of locked up with that now. But back then, he could have done the same deal, opened up money, and used it for real free agents. We didn't do that. We lost players. We didn't fill them in. We just used guys from previous years that are young and throwing in undrafted rookies in there. And that's what you're going to get in depth and issues. That's what you're seeing him now. It's just facts. Also, Jerry Jones landed his helicopter after some horrible losses on the practice field. Do you guys remember that? I mean, that's just embarrassing shit. And then, of course, the latest thing, threatening to fire radio hosts because they asked him a question that the fans wanted to hear answered. And he just couldn't. Jerry Jones is just too much ego, too much entitlement, too much rich, and he just makes up too much money on the Cowboys to give a fuck about us winning a Super Bowl or not. On the Dan Patrick Show, he said this. Oh, I'm sorry. He had R.J. Choppy from the 105.3 The Fan crew. And R.J. Choppy said, quote, "It's been 14 years that we've done that interview with Jerry Jones at basically the same time every Tuesday, and we've never had anything like that happen. He's been great. That's why this was so surprising." So again, he recapped the contentious interview he had with Jerry Jones. But I also heard they're gonna he's taking other jobs at other radio stops, doing games and stuff. All these guys, they're just they're gonna go all out. And I think the next day they kind of expressed their viewpoints that we're not happy with Jerry Jones. They're kind of trying to show him up a little bit. We'll see how long they keep their jobs.
Yeah, the threatening to fire them and threatening their paychecks, not a great look, especially when they were just doing their jobs.
Yeah, so that's a shame. Any quick thoughts on the comment as we get ready? How bad the Cowboys are doing now? We can talk about Jerry Jones' comments, and that's what we discussed about the ass.
Now, MB did say that he isn't Jerry. He wasn't going to use that money for other free agents.
Exactly.
And he knows it.
He
just couldn't stand that CD and Dak were taking him to the woodshed.
Yep, and that's my point. Jerry Jones, for some reason, he just wants to show everybody he keeps using the pie, the salary cap and we don't have that much money in the beginning, but once we get these guys signed, it opens up money. We know how any normal fan nowadays knows how this shit works. Jerry Jones thinks he can still pull the wool over the fans' eyes. We've been talking about this for 8 years on this channel. We knew this already. A lot of you guys are getting used to it, and most of you guys have been here for the 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years. You guys know it like we do it. We know this about Jerry Jones and his lies and his lies and his lies. Stephen Jones and his bad management of the cap. Jerry Jones allowing the bad management of the cap, whether it's in trades, new extensions, whatever the fuck it is. We know how they work. And then we get this production from this team. Listen to some of these numbers, guys. The Cowboys this season. We have 11 turnovers. That's 31st in the NFL on defense. Opposing points per game. We are allowing 28 points per game. That's 30th in the NFL. Red zone touchdown percentage allowed. 38%. That is 30th in the NFL. We are allowing touchdowns in the red zone. We're allowing 28 points per game, guys. We only have 11 turnovers from this defense in 6 games. We're 32nd on offense. We're 32nd in rushing offense. We're 32nd in receiver separation. We'll talk about that soon. We're in the bottom 10 in pass blocking as far as offensive lines are concerned. Bottom 10 pass blocking O-lines. Horrible head coach play calling by McCarthy, in my opinion. We also have an overall bottom 3 defense. And still, I see a lot of people saying Dak lost the game. It's all on Dak. Now, Dak is a part of it, but Dak did not lose the game. Let's just get that right. Now, if anybody lost the money in this, it's Jerry Jones, who waited too long to sign Dak the first time, the second time, waited too long to sign CeeDee Lamb this time.
Yeah, that's
so
how
it's
we
on
end
them.
up in these situations.
Yeah, that's why. You got to blame Dak. Blame Jerry first, then blame Dak. Now, as far as the Cowboys making the playoffs before today's games, according to ESPN, the Cowboys only have an 18% chance at this moment. I know it's early, but an 18% chance to make the playoffs. And I mean, it's this early, that low, and look at the games we got left. The Niners in San Francisco, at Atlanta, then home against the Eagles, home against the Houston Texans, on the road against the Washington Commanders, and 2 at home there against the Giants and Bengals. A little break, a little 3-game break, 2 at home and 1 on the road there against Carolina. We should win those 3 games. When they get the Bucs again, the Eagles and Washington. I mean, other than 3 games, the Giants, Bengals, and Panthers, and even the Bengals, iffy in Dallas. The Giants are the only definite. The Giants and Panthers are the only definite wins on this list, in my opinion. So the Cowboys got to earn the rest of them, and I don't know if they can earn them. And I definitely won't earn the rest of them if we keep these numbers on defense and offense. So Dak has to get better, but the defense really got to get better. The offense got to get better in a lot of different ways, whether it's pass blocking, whether it's running, whether it's play calling. Whether it's, just running the ball.
Yeah, we're not hiding our heads in the sand as far as the things that actually need to be fixed on this team. The problem is that, again, when the steps to fix it are so many at this point, and our front office just chooses to, instead of do anything, they do nothing. I mean, damn, you're right. Like, it doesn't leave a lot of hope for most of us fans for the rest of the season. So, doesn't mean we're giving up, but it makes it so hard. So, Drums and Cowboys said in the words of Jim Mora, playoffs?
Yeah, ain't no
playoffs? We're lucky to win a game.
Ain't no playoffs coming near now. Not at this moment, that's for sure.
J Cogs 30, shout out to you, saying, ass whooping on the way. Unfortunately, Matt Batten pointing it out, just hard schedule.
Yeah, tough schedule, and we're not that good. If we were a little better, I'd say, okay, the Falcons and the Texans and the Commanders.
If it was an easier schedule, I don't think I would feel that much better either, though, because
it doesn't really show much
laying the ass whooping on
shitty
not
teams.
Great teams, or how about this, like the Giants barely scraping by a win on a crappy team. Not exactly inspiring confidence.
I think about those things when it comes to the schedule, and I'm thinking, which team has become, I don't say us, but the team has blowing out the shitty teams is the Commanders. Like the Eagles having struggled. The Eagles blew out the Giants better than we could, but my point is that the Commanders are consistently blowing out teams, at least the easier teams. So that's the schedule. That's Jerry, and that's the situation we are currently in. We're currently 3rd in the NFC East with a 3-3 record. And like I said, look at our upcoming schedule. As I just mentioned, I just showed it to you guys. I mean, it's far from easy. It's a tough ass fucking schedule. And James Herr, who, by the way, now officially, this is our second drop of the night, but with James Herr's $3 holler, $3 through the Streamlabs, that puts him in first place on the Cash App board.
Way to go, James Herr.
Big shout out to James Herr. What did he say?
I'll tell you this. It is Jerry's team. He does what he wants. He knows behind closed doors that those seats will fill merchandise and will be bought and NFL share revenue, so why would he care what people or the fans say?
And that's a problem.
His money doesn't care what jersey is being sold.
He don't care which ass is in the seat, which team,
To be fair, it's not to say that the lack of team success wouldn't impact his own wallet because, well, maybe fans don't feel like buying Cowboy merch. Maybe they don't feel like buying some of that stuff. But you know what's funny? And I was actually going to mention this to you just behind the scenes. But if you notice, guys, go, if you feel like it, not now, obviously, but when you get the chance, go check out the type of merchandise the Cowboys are selling. Because I've noticed that specifically for this holiday season in the last few weeks, they're bringing back a lot of old school 90s styles and designs.
Trying to get that,
I wonder
the good
why
old
that
days
is.
back, huh?
And not to say they don't do it every year, but usually I don't see it this prolific. And I can tell you right now, it was like this close to working because I saw a jacket and I was like, damn, that's just like the jacket you lost. MCF would love that jacket. And then I'm like, you know what?
No.
Fuck Jerry. He's not getting a red cent out of me. Even if Mr. MCF would have loved that jacket. I'm just trying to give you an example there.
Yeah.
Like, they're just trying to relive on that 90s hype. Because that's all that Jerry's got left. So thank you very much, James Herr. Appreciate you for dropping that $3 holler there.
And leading in the Cash App now for this month.
So, rolling back here. Double R said a real GM would not have drafted Vaughn just because his dad worked for Dallas. It lets his emotions play part in his decisions, which we all see doesn't work just saying.
That's also partially true, I believe.
To be fair,
I mean,
wasn't he like a 6th-round pick?
He was,
but
I
have less of a problem about the drafting of such a late draft pick. That to me is less of a problem as much as it is trying to force him onto the offense. That bothers me more. If Deuce Vaughn had basically been on the practice squad and basically just keeping his seat warm on the practice squad this whole time, guess what? It would have been just that. A cute little feel-good story that doesn't really have much impact. How many 6th-rounders are out here being difference makers? That's what I'm trying to say.
I want to say something. I do want to say something to combat that.
And
the one thing I'm going to say to combat that is when you look at a guy like Charbonnet from the Seattle Seahawks, there was a couple other guys either in the late 5th or in the 6th round, even in the 7th round, that the Cowboys could have drafted, which would have been much better options than Deuce Vaughn. Facts. Because Charbonnet right now is split time there in Seattle, and he's being effective out there. Imagine if we had a guy like him behind Rico and Zeke and Dalvin Cook. I mean, we got Malik Davis in the practice. I'm saying these guys, that's a lost player in Deuce Vaughn. It's a wasted pick. And so I agree that we wouldn't have drafted him. You say 6th-rounder, but there's a lot of the running backs that were managing to make a difference for teams. And we went with the guy that we know because he's the son of one of the guys. I agree with that comment by who was that said it? James, or was it?
That was Double R.
No, I agree 100% with that comment because that is the way the Cowboys work, and that is how it's a feel-good story. The Cowboys get this guy. They don't even use him right. And they don't put him on the practice squad. That is literally a wasted pick. We don't use him, barely use him. When we use him wrong, and he's not on the practice squad. And that is the killer for us. I mean, I agree with you on the practice squad, not the worst in the world. We just wasted a pick because we could have had a guy out there producing half the snaps on the ground for us. Yes, with a 6th-round pick. But we decided to trade up to get Eric Scott Jr., waste, and then we ended up getting Deuce Vaughn instead of a bunch of other running backs that were still out there that are actual guys that would actually help an offensive team, could help, be a 1-2-3 combination kind of running back. But no. Instead we went with Deuce Vaughn that we don't use right because his dad works for the Cowboys. So I agree with you guys.
Yeah. So
okay, I'll continue it.
Rolling,
I just want to finish with a couple little criticisms, I guess you could say. We criticized enough here, and I'm done with Jerry's ugly ass face. So let me kick his ass out of here. Boom. And then let me bring up Micah Parsons just for a quick second. Micah Parsons was on his podcast last week, along with Eagles cornerback Darius Slay Jr., who's talked some shit about the Cowboys. And he said, breaking down the loss to the Cowboys, the loss the Cowboys had with the Lions being 0-3 at home. Darius Slay said this to Micah, quote, "Y'all a really good, solid home team, but to see y'all 0-3, I'm loving it."
Nah.
So Micah,
hey,
he's getting the words from the opponent there in the division, a hated opponent. Now, what moves did the Cowboys? The Cowboys made a move. We signed a defensive tackle, guys, to our practice squad. Yay!
Making moves, guys, making moves.
Super Bowl. So again, the Cowboys signed defensive lineman Jaylen Dalton, Jaylen Dalton to the practice squad. The Cowboys then released defensive tackle Phil Hoskins from our practice squad. So we had, Phil Hoskins released and picked up Jaylen Dalton. He's a former undrafted 2019 guy, an undrafted guy from the Bears, who most recently spent time in the XFL with San Antonio and Seattle. An XFL guy. Whoop-de-fucking-do. He posted a 9.8 pass rush win rate for the San Antonio Brahmas in the XFL this past season. But he played mainly defensive tackle per PFF and the numbers and the analytics. So he played, basically we replaced one defensive tackle from the XFL. We picked them up and replaced another defensive tackle, who's basically undrafted as well, basically unwanted in Phil Hoskins. And that's the only move we made the last 4 days, guys. That's it. We just shifted one defensive tackle off the team and picked up another shitty one to replace him. That's it. So, the one thing I'm going to say about his biggest issue, just in case we ever see this guy play, Jaylen Dalton's issue is his pad level. He just stands up. So he's always controlled and moved around. He has to get his pad level lower. I don't know what the Cowboys are thinking. Who cares? Everyone else in the league, we've seen it. We've seen the trades right before Can we make our team better? The other teams in the league say, what's a trade market like? Let's make some trades. Let's pick up some guys. Let's be lively here and make a move forward.
Yeah.
Our front office is, hey, who's from the XFL we can bring in? That's what we did. That's that. Everyone else is making trades and doing, and we are bringing in XFL players to maybe improve our practice squad. That's all. That's literally all we're fucking doing. And by the way, in case you didn't know, now you're gonna know. The Cowboys have $20.12 million in cap space as we speak right now. Over $20 million in cap space the Cowboys have. And we just brought in a guy to replace the other guy on our practice squad. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't even matter. It's really irrelevant. It just proves no matter how much money we have open, the Cowboys will never spend it on outside guys. And they'll overspend on inside guys that we drafted, good or not, on the market, based on the market, not based on the greediness, based on the market. We'll overpay because this fucking front office waits too goddamn long. Cavante Turpin, XFL star. Thank you, Will McClay, for finding him. But Cavante Turpin, I got to give him, at least he's one guy that makes a difference for us. Starting to make a bigger difference on offense. But on special teams, he had 194 return yards on last Sunday against Detroit. 194. That's because they scored so much. We had a lot of returns. But 194 yards, guys, that's the most of his career in a game. Now, yes, he did have 7 returns because they scored 7 times in us. But it was the 5th most yards by a player in a game since 2020. And the 6th best in Cowboys history. So again, 6th best by a player in history for the Cowboys. And 5th best in yards since 2020 by any player for the Cowboys. So again, a great job there for someone like Cavante Turpin, who needs to be used more on offense. And obviously, guys, you know that against the Lions special teams, he actually, you look at John Fossil, what he did. John Fossil actually used, and I don't know if we even caught that in the game, but I watched it again, and there was pretty much every kickoff, there was that handoff, the fake around. Even if they didn't fake it, there was always a guy going. It was always C.J. Goodwin going the opposite way behind Cavante Turpin. It's starting to become a Cowboys play. Like, I've actually seen the breakdown of this, saying that, but when the Cowboys do that, it freezes the cover team, the opponent, for just a half second, and that makes a difference to open up lanes for the returner. And that's what the Cowboys are going to do a lot of. Keep watching. You'll see on the returns, kickoff returns, when Cavante Turpin takes it out of the end zone, watch one of the blockers, C.J. Goodwin usually, run kind of an orbit motion around the back of Cavante Turpin as he's running forward. Whether he gets close enough to fake it or not is irrelevant. Just that movement makes the defensive guys, the coverage team, freeze for a second. And the Cowboys did it pretty much they were playing around with stuff. That's why, remember, he asked, the Fossil asked McCarthy if he can take some of these kickoffs back, because they were trying to reverse and see how it works with defensive, with the return team coverage. So that's the good thing. We kind of got a little scene of what we can do with Turpin and the reverse feel for the future.
Special teams is
the only thing holding together.
Decent part of this team, even with the few little blunders they've had.
I 100% agree. Now, on offense, the highest paid skill player we got, Dak Prescott. Congrats to him and now his future wife.
Yes,
right, the baby mama here. He popped the question to his girlfriend on a golf course. They were both dressed in all white and they were golfing. All of a sudden, she must love golf, because all of a sudden he got on one knee and proposed to her. So they are now officially engaged to get married. Sarah Jane will be soon. It'll be Sarah Jane Prescott. They did this during the bye week. And again, if you see the pictures, he's holding the baby there, saying hi, mommy, daddy has a question for you with a little ring in it, and so very cute, nice thing. Yeah,
wishing the best for Dak and his family.
Yeah. So now we got the NFL passing leaders, and again, this is after week 6. So let me be fair; it's not including any of the games from week 7, but through 6 weeks, Geno Smith, Brock Purdy, who had a horrible game today, and then Dak Prescott third in passing yards. Basically, he's about 170 yards back before this week started on Geno Smith for the guy in the lead there. So Kirk Cousins had 3 yards less than Dak, but now, of course, he passed him there. But anyways, the point is, when everyone gets their buys, Dak's falling about 2nd or 3rd in yardage in the NFL. It doesn't really mean much if we don't win games. But I'm just letting you know where he's sitting on that, since we talked about his engagement. Now, running the ball. Oh, boy. We need to do better running the ball. And again, Zeke, I feel about him. Great first 4 or 5 years. And then, it's time to him to be the short yardage guy. The Cowboys want to wait and hold him. And Dalvin Cook, they're not using him. And They want to use him. I say use Zeke for short yardage. But right now, to me, the man that's starting is Rico Dowdle. He should be the starter. But, unfortunately, with the combination of all these guys, the fewest team rush yards. So these are the teams that have the least rushing yards through week 6, average per game. Number 1 in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. We're the worst. 77.2 yards per game on the ground. That includes the running backs, the quarterback, CeeDee Lamb, and everybody. We run for 77.2 yards per game. The Raiders run for 79.5. The Jets, 87. Seahawks, 96. The Browns, 97. The Rams, 97. The Bengals, 100. Everybody else, 100 past that. So the Cowboys' run game right now is averaging 77.2 yards per game, and we're averaging 3.48 yards per carry. Basically 3.5 yards per carry. Guys, 77.2 per game total yards is worse than the NFL. 3.48 yards per carry is the worst in the NFL for all our running backs. Although we know Rico is the best, so maybe I should put... He's the best out of all our running backs in yards per carry and rush yards, so maybe I should put Zeke there. And Rico... Maybe I'll throw in Rico, Deuce Vaughn in there too, because we're definitely not getting any... Hunter Lipke. These guys are not running the ball well for us, and we're not blocking well as well for them. So, and we're not running the ball that much. Sometimes because the game plan, McCarthy. Yeah. Sometimes because we're down by fucking 30 points. So, a lot of reasons for that. So, we have to throw the ball. Oh, well, there's CeeDee Lamb. So, before the week 7 games, after week 6, CeeDee Lamb dropped. He had a great first half, horrible second half, and he dropped from like 3rd to 5th on the receiving yardage list. We had Nico Collins, Jamar Chase, Chris Godwin, DK Metcalf, and then CeeDee Lamb. At the time, before this week's games, before Nico Collins played, if he even played, I don't know if he was injured, but he played with Houston. Basically, CeeDee Lamb was basically 100 yards back on the top receiver in the NFL. So, not too far back for him. And everybody will get their buys. CeeDee will catch up. Excuse me.
Yeah,
but I do.
Yeah, our buy just happened to be on the earlier side.
Exactly. So I do want to say that. I want to say one little factor about the Lions game for the Cowboys before we finish it up here tonight on MCF. And I know we may have a special guest. I think it'll be probably later on in the week. So against one high safeties, guys, and against one high safety in defenses, meaning there's one safety, CeeDee Lamb has a 30.2% target rate. So fantastic. When you see one safety in the game, the Cowboys will attack using CeeDee Lamb. Fantastic. Love it. But that number from 30.2% targets, like we attempt to go, attack when they have one safety. When they have two high safeties, when there's two safeties, instead of one that are deep, it goes from 32% target rate to 17.3%. Almost cut in half when they use a second safety. That's how easy it is to kind of slow down our offense. And to add to this, and this is going to be sad, but against the Lions last Sunday, Kirby Joseph, the defensive backs for the Lions, went over the Lions' defensive game plan of course, whipping our ass 47-9.
Yeah.
And he said this, quote, "The game plan was really just take CeeDee Lamb away. We know he's a playmaker. Once we take him out of the game, we wasn't really worried about anyone else." What does this mean? What is he saying out loud? The only person that scares anyone on this team on offense is CeeDee Lamb.
And again,
no Rico, no Dak, no nobody.
Whether that's talent, whether that's scheme, I think it's just that CeeDee Lamb's talent surpasses our shitty scheme, but even he is not, free from being victimized by our scheme and honestly his own bad habits that he's falling into because of that bad scheme. Like if McCarthy already is calling shitty routes, CeeDee Lamb running his route shittily on top of that, it just adds insult to injury in a general sense.
We're going to talk about the routes in a minute here.
Yeah, just to give an example there.
Well, it's a lot of the issue with, to me, we talked about this literally 2 weeks ago. I think right around when Brandon Cooks got hurt 2 weeks ago or so, when I said that the separation from all of our receivers was the lowest in the NFL. And CeeDee Lamb is like 90th in separation. I mean, CeeDee Lamb cannot do that.
It's not possible as the number one wide receiver.
Well, he has to win. He has to win a lot of 50-50 balls. You got to win a lot of jump balls, a lot of, lucky plays. It's just not, you don't want to have Dak throwing in tight windows constantly. to CeeDee Lamb just to force it in there because he doesn't get separation. Is it because they're using bracket coverage? Is it because they're doubling him? Are they pressing him and then watching a guy deep on him? Either way, they're keeping teams are starting to just take out CeeDee Lamb. Why is that? We're not even attempting to run.
Yeah.
We cannot run. We cannot block for the run. We are doing a top 10 job in blocking for the pass. So it's not time to get CeeDee Lamb. I'd say there's a million different reasons on top of Dak making a mistake with Mike McCarthy, dumb play call, not running the ball enough. I'm going to say that again. Just dumb shit setting us up for more dumb shit. Then the pile of shit, domino effect occurs, and then CeeDee Lamb gets lost in sauce. So when you look at the way that teams are playing us, one high safety is going to be not shown too much. We see one high safety, you're going to see CeeDee Lamb get targeted, and he's going to make a difference. When you see teams go to two high safeties, CeeDee Lamb is targeted half of the time that he was when he was. So it's just a big difference there. A little game plan change there, scheme change, but the Lions did it, right? They knew they just had double, triple, whatever you had to do to get CeeDee Lamb out of the game. The Cowboys will make mistakes eventually, and that's what they did. So the only person that scares anyone is not Dak Prescott, especially with the offensive line issues. Mm-hmm. It's not a running game because we don't have one. Nobody in the run game. Ferguson's good, but it's only so much you can do. I mean, that's great. And there's no other receiver. Even if Tolbert's stepping up, even if Brandon Cooks come back and he's a little bit, these guys are not getting separation. So nobody's getting any help for anybody on this team. The scheme from McCarthy for Dak to throw the ball, and the receivers are not getting separation. So, I've been saying this for weeks. But now we have a new guy saying this, and it's one of our favorite players. One of the guys I grew up watching, one of my favorite players of all time. Emmitt Smith's my number one, but not far behind. Michael Irvin is Troy Aikman.
That's right.
And baby, you were kind of alluding to this with the routes that our receivers are running. What's going on? Because it is CeeDee Lamb and all of these guys, and they're not getting separation. I talked about this weeks ago. So Troy Aikman spoke about this. Give me the full context on the issue with the Cowboy wide receivers and their routes. Troy Aikman said what?
He said, quote, "I think the routes are terrible. I think they run terrible routes. And I've thought that beyond this year. I think CD has got to improve in his route running. As a quarterback, if you're not certain where guys are going to be consistently, it's hard to play the position. And that's what I see. I see guys lazy coming off the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they run. Usually if they do, it's because they're anticipating that they're going to get the football on that play. But if they're not, they just don't. And it all ties together. I'm not impressed with that part of it.
I just want to say one thing real quick there, just on that first paragraph. Again, lazy routes. The only time they come out with energy is when they're going to get the ball on that play. And that tells me, you're giving your game plan away to the other team. And then when you're running lazy routes, I want people to understand, when the receivers run, and again, if anyone knows about this, it's Troy Aikman. He's a quarterback. If your receivers are running lazy routes and they're not giving you other options, your quarterback is going to suffer. Your game plan on offense is going to suffer if the receivers are not running, passionate, direct, precise route running on every single time, every single play. So to me, it is a great point coming from a quarterback that knows when your rhythm is off with the receiver because they're running bad routes or they're running lazy routes. The quarterback won't trust them, won't throw it to them, takes a sack, or forces it in, throws an interception.
It also makes it hard for the quarterback to adjust just because, again, how is he supposed to know how to adjust because he doesn't know where the receiver is going to be.
And I cannot, although I do blame some of these mistakes, passing mistakes, decision mistakes, on Dak Prescott. CeeDee Lamb's been the big culprit because he missed training camp. I could blame Jerry Jones on that.
CeeDee's not doing him any favors by running routes the way he is.
Of all guys, CeeDee Lamb has to run better routes, less lazy routes, and Troy Aikman knows it because he's a quarterback. And he knows how much trouble that will give Dak Prescott and also to the scheme. No matter how good or bad it is from McCarthy or how good or bad Dak is, you guys think, the fact that CeeDee Lamb and the rest of the receivers are running lazy routes, it hurts the entire offense. Joe Montana would have many problems. He would not doing very well. Dan Marino, Mahomes, they would not do very well with lazy route runners at receiver. You guys feel me on this? That's all I'm trying to say. Dak is still to blame for a lot of this. McCarthy's still to blame for a lot of this, but it's everybody. It's not just one guy because he gets $60 million or he's the head coach. CeeDee Lamb getting $35 million needs to run better fucking routes, in my opinion. I agree 100% with Troy Aikman. What else did the great Troy Aikman have to say?
I just finished watching the Baltimore Ravens because I have them this week. You put on film of theirs and watch their receivers run routes, and they come off the football. So do San Francisco and Green Bay's and others. But it's hard to play the quarterback position if you're not certain how guys are going to run routes or where they're going to be. And I'm not speaking for Dak. Dak may say, hey, I think their routes are amazing. But as a former quarterback, watching it, it's got to get a lot better.
You know, at the end of that, I just want to say, I wish Dak would open his fucking mouth a little more. Even Dak says, they're amazing routes. He needs to say, run the fucking routes better. That's what a leader does for your team. So that's one thing Dak has never really done, and that's always been a criticism of Dak.
I wish that he would maybe say it behind the scenes, but I am glad that that's not the type of commentary that needs to be put out there for everyone to, scrutinize or dissect or whatever. You know what I mean?
I know,
the problem is we know that even behind the scenes, it's not like that's
not happening. Right.
That's what I said.
And so Dak's not giving he's saying everything's amazing. Well, he may say that, like Aikman alluded to, but Aikman knows behind the scenes, people got to call out these guys. Meaning the receivers got to get called out. Hopefully by not just the coaches, but the quarterback as well. And also, example of the Ravens. He's doing the game tomorrow, guys. My brother is going to be at that game. The Cardinals and the Monday night game. The Cardinals and the Chargers game. But the other game, the early game tomorrow, is Baltimore Ravens and the Buccaneers. Mm-hmm. And you guys watch the Baltimore Ravens. Watch how they come off the line of scrimmage. All of their receivers, even on the run play. Watch what happens when they have a play for Mark Andrews, the tight end. Mm-hmm. All the other receivers, they fly off the ball. So you hear Trakeman saying this, and you watch the Cowboy game, and you don't see CeeDee Lamb fly off the ball when he's not getting up. But when the play's a run play, when the play's going to Tolbert, when the play's going to Ferguson, when it's going to Rico out of the backfield, you don't see CeeDee Lamb running a strong route consistently. And that's the difference between Green Bay, San Francisco, the Ravens, and us versus us. Embarrassing. And Trakeman calling out the receivers.
The man Seabass said,
you know it.
Hundreds, yeah. Speaking the fucking goddamn facts. I've said for years, speak the fuck up, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I've always said that. I've said that since the beginning of this channel. I wish he would just take over the team sometimes. Just say, not every time, but just say, hey, listen, that's it. Coaches said, we're going to kind of do this. Let's kind of do this, but I'm going to throw in this little move here, this little play here, and take ownership of that. But the thing is, if the front office...
Have a great night. Take it easy.
Peace out, Double R. If the front office does not take account... Here's my problem, though, and this is what sucks the most. If the front office, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and all crew there, if the owner and GM and his son do not take accountability at the top, then what happens when, the coaching falls through? Does McCarthy have accountability there? What happens when his scheme starts to fall through? Because there's no the offensive line, there's no run game. Some of it's his own fault, some of it's Jerry Jones' fault. What happens when the offensive scheme starts to go to shit, and then we see Dak Prescott struggling because of the blocking or the bad decisions by him, or the lack of the run game by McCarthy, or the lack of the good offseason or any offseason moves by the front office, by Jerry Jones, the GM. Not Jerry Jones, the owner. Jerry Jones, the GM. These guys are not the problem. You get anybody you get in here. You get Don Shula at his best, Tom Landry at his best. If you make them just coaches and not let them, and you do not actually have a real GM in there, this is going to be the final result every year. We'll be knocked out before the division round if we even get to the playoffs. So, we'll be knocked out in the division round at best if we even get into the playoffs. And I ain't talking about this year. I'm talking about the last fucking 28 fucking years. Sorry, I'll stop now. Hit up the chat, baby, because that's it. That's all I got.
Hey, all good. And by the way, huge shout out to the man, Mr. Seabass. Dropping some truth here.
In the house.
He said, top to bottom, the entire structure is fucked. Lacking discipline, and these players don't care to lose. Either way, they're rich AF, so why does it matter?
Yeah.
Matt Batten, he said, it's true. Owners don't care. Why should coaches or players care?
It's accountability. But the owners on other teams, they hire GM, and his job is to care and get the team together. Well, Jerry Jones, no, they don't know how.
Jaycox 30 said it. We need a hard ass. What's Parcells up to?
Well, again, you guys remember Parcells here? Here for what, 3-4 years? Took our team from shit with Campo to a playoff team with Romo as an undrafted quarterback for 3. My point is, that's a real coach. And what happened? He was turned away because every time they had a players-only meeting, guess who else was there? Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. They barged in on multiple of these. And Parcells basically had an option on his year to stay one more year. He said, I'm out of here. I don't need this shit from the front office. So he was, even with a great coach like him, he could only overcome so much. When you got Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones as the owners, As the owners of your team is one thing, okay. But as your GM and capologist, GM Jerry and capologist Steven, that's why we have lost so consistently for 28 years. That's that. Them's facts. God damn it. Those are facts.
So James Hurst said, players and coaches don't care. They don't get no money.
I mean, they don't get the money from the league, but
it depends on the
they
coach.
Do get, yeah.
As far as like how high up you are. But yeah, most of the lower level coaches are not getting paid enough to make any of that work.
To make it a difference, to make it an impact, if something, but at the same time, again, something has to be done, and it really comes down to, will Stephen Jones, when he takes over and his father dies, Jerry Jones dies, will Stephen Jones take over as a GM, or will he just be the owner and then assign someone the GM role? That's our only hope, guys, and I'm being 100% unfortunately dead honest. And when Jerry Jones passes on, if Stephen Jones becomes a GM, we're just going to be worse. If he gets somebody to be GM, that would be the only good thing. I hate saying someone's death, but that's the only thing that would be good about Jerry Jones' death, I guess, is that we'll have an actual GM, or at least an allowance of a general manager, because Jerry Jones will never allow anyone but himself to be the general manager after he took it away from Jimmy Johnson 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So, and with that said, though, I'm going to keep on, giving some comment shout-outs here in the chat as we start to wrap things up here. But don't forget, guys, if you are here, to take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You guys can follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. And, of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Damn right, guys. Again, big shout-outs to everybody. Cannot do this without your love and support. And tonight, big shout-outs to Double R, which started it off, and
that's right.
A new stream boss. I mean, I'm not stream boss, a new Cash App leader, and James Herr for this week, who dropped the love from above tonight. And a big shout-outs to those that rep at the boards here. You see John Luna with 58 points on the stream boss, but he's also the 2-time sponsor of the week. He's also currently leading the overall board. He may become a three-peater. Well, it's hard to be a repeater on this channel, but there's a couple people that did the three-peats, not many. He's online right now, John Luna, a little bit in front of Marco Seppian and Chill Pill right now. John Luna's in front of both of them by a little bit. Try to get that three-peat as our current leader. Now, again, we'll announce the winner Sunday at the end of the Niners-Cowboy game. So keep that in mind, too. The winner will be announced then, and depending on what you guys do. So right now, John Luna is in the lead for a possible three-peat as a sponsor of the week. And the stream boss, of course. And now, of course, our gifting champion, our gifting queen is the great Chill Pill. Much love to her. With John Luna with 10 gifted memberships already this week. So he's in the lead for that gifting championship, that gifting crown, if nobody else comes for that by next Sunday, right? Yes. And the last but not least section here is the very famous Cash App side of things. That's the best, one of the ways to get, that's why we give it a little extra notice there, because the Cash App or PayPal's, it doesn't go through YouTube, so they don't take out their 30%. So Skeptical Fan is the king of the Cash App from last week. And now we have a leader in the Cash App by the name of James Herr in the house. Big shout-outs using the Streamlabs function there. He's currently with 3 on the board there in the Streamlabs side of things, in the Cash App side, in the Crownage side. On that note, baby, a couple last comments, some shout-outs, and a good night here from My Cowboys Family.
Shout out to Matt Batten, much love. Pat Pfeiffer, shout out to you as well.
Pat in the house.
We have Seabass, of course.
Yeah.
Who's saying Bill Belichick probably said to himself, retirement sounds more enticing and gratifying than dealing with Jerry. And
dealing with, again, the only good thing is they're friends and they know each other, but I don't even know if he can save us at this point, unless he has some kind of influence that makes Jerry Jones say, I'll let you handle more of the GMing there, Bill. I doubt it. Seabass, by the way, we'll talk again. I don't know if I'm going live the night after dark. Probably not. But tomorrow we'll be back at it again, and definitely we'll get back to you, Seabass, on when's a good time this week to hopefully get you on here on the channel to do a little one-on-one on what your thoughts are going into this, after this bye here for in this 2024 so far horrible season. Anyway, we'll get on that track a little bit later, Seabass. Yeah. Much love to him. I'm sorry, go ahead, baby. You're doing a shout.
All good, but we have Brandon J, Corey Hicks, Pat Pfeiffer, James Herr, Mr. Seabass, Matt Batten, Jake Cogs 30, True Cowboy, MB.
Pat, I might, Pat, I'm not sure. I might, but Yeah, and tonight I'm exhausted, guys. A long day, another long day. So, got a long day tomorrow too. So I might just take it off today, take it easy on After Dark, and then we'll just go hard. Tuesday night. I'm sorry, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. We'll see how that goes. We'll see. Maybe I'll go live tonight for an hour or two. We'll see.
So, no, I just trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Mr. Kima, Drums and Cowboys.
I love Pat Pfeiffer changing.
Double R, Mater 97.
She changed her profile picture there. Much love to Seabass, James Hurd, True Cowboy MB, Matt Batten.
Yes,
Pat
to all
Pfeiffer,
of you guys
Brandon,
here,
Corey.
chilling, hanging with us. Yes,
No
thank
Dallas
you so
Cowboys.
much for taking time out of your night, your day, or whatever time zone you're in to come and chill and hang with us.
Yes.
Can't wait to see you all again.
Yeah, so we had
just a handful of days.
Yeah, we'll be back here on Tuesday-ish, I guess, Tuesday, for the real breakdown of the Niners. Because now we're going to focus on the Niners, and we don't have to have a split stream. We'll just do the Niners. That's and maybe have a little Seabass flavor on Tuesday night. We'll see. But either way, guys, we'll be back on Tuesday. You hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell to all videos so you know when we're going live. Because that could change, and we go live late, as you guys know. We're late nighters. So, on that note, guys, we prepare, get it out of this bye, out of week 7. There's 2 games tomorrow night, so keep an eye on them. We'll be back here on Tuesday with a little breakdown going forward into this big Niners game. Both teams, the Cowboys are 3-3, the Niners are 3-4. So come on, these are the 2 teams supposed to be the best in the NFC. What happened? So either way, we'll be fighting it out. 2 injured, beat up teams, we'll be fighting it out. We'll talk a lot more about that on Tuesday. On that note, though, baby, as we get out of here tonight to wrap up. I say half of this, week of 2 weeks that we got going on in My Cowboys Family. And before we can drop out of here and do our thing, I want you to tell them, why do we do this here on My Cowboys Family? Pretty much every single night for the last almost 8 years. Why do we do this?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here on MCF, we always rep that star over everything. And here on My Cowboys Family on YouTube for 8 seasons, over 7 years. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Probably not this year, though. Thank you guys for dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long. All night. And good night for those that are, saying peace out for the day and have a great start of your week tomorrow. Also, big shout outs to those that dropped the love from above the last 4 days in the memberships. Being back in the membership side of things, the people that dropped the love tonight, like Double R, James Hurd, and the Streamlabs. Big shout out to everybody there that dropped the love from above. And as we get on out of here, baby, clock out, drop out of this stream for tonight, and a Cowboy quickie tonight, an hour and 15 minutes. If we're going to drop out for the night officially, baby, let everybody know what we got to do.
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah.
I got to build the anticipation sometimes.
We dropping that beat. Yes. Thank you, baby. And on that note, guys, I hope you guys had a great weekend. We'll see you guys back here on Tuesday for some more Dallas Cowboy news, info, and updates as we get ready for the Niner battle, ? Niner game. But thank you guys for joining us for another quickie tonight. Appreciate you all. Stay safe out there. Oh, yeah. You could be anywhere you want right now, but you're here chilling with us on My Cowboys Family with all the news, info, and updates on our Dallas Cowboys for another MCF Cowboys chat, baby. You know it. We'll see if the hammer falls on Mike McCarthy sooner than later this season. But either way, we got to reset shit right now. We got bye week, got 2 weeks, and now we got the Niners up next. Let's go Cowboys. Guys, here on MCF, you know the deal. Day and night, it's always about that navy blue. That silver too. That star over everything. Never, ever, ever forget the number one thing here of My Cowboys Family. Much love to you guys in the house who make it happen here on the nightly or whenever we go live. And, of course, appreciate you guys hitting that stream, the like button for this stream, hitting that subscribe button for the channel and keep it growing. Hit that notification bell so you know when we're going live. You can jump in the Discord and check us out there so you know when we're going live through there. And also on Twitter, X, at My Cowboys Family. Everyone, truly, 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 hope you had a great weekend. Hope your week starts off great. We'll see you soon. Stay safe. Much love. Peace out. And never, ever forget, no matter what, go Cowboys!
on the beat.